For centuries, there's been a sacred economy based on a simple principle. Give and receive in abundance. Welcome to Gift of Legacy, the world's most exciting gifting activity. A simple $100 unconditional gift to someone in the community can change your life forever and has the potential to be converted into thousands of dollars. The sacred economy has blessed millions all over the world for centuries. Gift of Legacy is peer-to-peer, it's decentralized, it's by the people for the people. It's for like-hearted and like-minded people who believes in the universal law that you should give in order to receive. This perpetual system is never-ending, recurring, passive, infinite. It moves with you and the community, from a $100 gifting activity to a $5,000 gifting activity. Returning gifts from $800 all the way up to $40,000, over and over again. And it all starts with that first $100 unconditional gift, also the only $100 you ever have to take out of your own pocket. Designed in such a way that everyone can achieve success by simply following the guidelines. Gift of Legacy is changing what you know about gifting, with its unique algorithm, ensuring continuous flow of the boards, taking care of the newcomer, while rewarding the team builder. It's automated, worldwide, and by invitation only, an invitation by someone who wants you to receive in abundance. So, are you ready to take part in the world's most exciting gifting activity?
So I love the whole concept of sacred economics. And for any of you that don't know, this is Charles Eisenstein, and he wrote a book called Sacred Economics. So this is just a little 10-minute clip that I took out of something that I found on YouTube. So credit goes to Charles Eisenstein, but it's just a beautiful way of explaining that, you know, this is the new way. If we just accept it and we drop all of the fear and just look toward a beautiful, brighter future.
Money and many of our other institutions and many little voices in our own heads are still very much immersed in the old story of the people and the old story of the self. So one thing that I write about is what would money have to look like? And what would other institutions, in The Ascent of Humanity, I write about other things besides money, but what would our institutions look like if they were aligned with the new stories? One model I take is gift culture, these communities that we once had. In those communities, it was not true, like it is in a money economy, that we're all in competition and your good fortune is my bad luck. In a competitive economy, that's true, right? Because we're all in competition for not enough money, and you break your leg, ha, one less competitor for me. But in a gift economy, you break your leg, that's one less person to give to me. Because in a gift economy, people do not accumulate. Wealth in a gift economy is not how much you have. Wealth in a gift economy is how much you have given. Because the more you give, the more people want to give to you, too. The more grateful they feel. So even if you're a selfish bastard, you still want to be generous. This is so foreign to our thinking. We're so conditioned to think that altruism is a kind of a self-sacrifice. That we have to fight ourselves to be good. Fighting ourselves to be good, that is, I bet everybody in this room has habits that are built around the struggle to be good. Maybe you evaluate all of your actions and see whether they were justified or not and how you could do better. Most religions are in some way about overcoming the self, overcoming sin, overcoming fear, overcoming whatever. It's the war on human nature that reflects or interiorizes the war against nature. That's part of Ascent. And so we're so used to that. But in a gift economy, it's not true. So in a gift economy, you don't even need a golden rule in the gift economy, because it's self-evident. As I give unto others, so they will give unto me. As I do unto others, others' well-being, that's my well-being too. It's obvious. Because in a gift economy, if you have more than you need, you give it to somebody else who needs it. Not only because you like them, but also because that's where your status and your wealth and your positive self-image and everything all come from. So that's one of the metaphors I draw on in describing what money could look like. And I'll describe it a little bit, and then we'll go to questions and answers too. So there's like 6 or 7 pieces of it, including internalizing costs, negative interest, social dividend, localization, peer-to-peer and gift economics, shifting taxation onto resources and land. There's various pieces of it. I'll just go into one of the key pieces here, just to kind of give you a flavor for some of the more nitty-gritty aspects of this. So it's the negative interest part. Because I described how interest on money is what drives this competition and this endless growth. So what would happen if money didn't bear interest? What would happen if money, in fact, were like everything else in the universe that decayed over time? Or like possessions in a gift culture, in a nomadic hunter-gatherer culture, that if you held on to them, they were a burden. What would happen if money were like that too? See, today money, it violates ecology. Because in ecology, everything cycles back, returns to its source, decays. But nothing's permanent. But money is permanent. It doesn't decay. In fact, you can even make it grow with time. And we can talk about inflation and stuff. There's some complications, but basically you can put your money in a risk-free investment, and it will, at least it would appear, last forever. And so we attach ourselves. Money is so linked to self. My money, I was ripped off, We attach self to this permanent thing, which kind of leads us to think that maybe we're permanent too. That's our security. We intellectually know that we can't take it with us, but we act as if we could. Okay? And so it violates the spiritual law of impermanence. It violates the ecological law of return. So what would happen if money decayed? All right, so imagine, we have maybe 200, 300 people here. So suppose right now I'm the richest guy in the room, but it's not a money economy. I'm the richest guy in the room because I have 500 loaves of bread. I'm the richest, and you guys don't have any. So how do I stay rich? Suppose I'm a selfish bastard. Okay? Well, I can't just keep all the bread because it's going to go stale and everybody's going to hate me. So if I want to stay rich, I'm going to have to, well, I could give it away, or I could give you a zero interest loan. Say, here, I'll give everybody a loaf of bread. Nice fresh bread, and if I ever need bread, I will call in that loan. Or if you have bread, you can pay me back. If I say, I'm not going to give you this bread unless you pay me 2 loaves of bread in return, I don't have the leverage to do that, because you know that it's just going to go bad anyway. So that's kind of the simple version. I mean, this is really sacred economics could be called kindergarten economics. Right? It's like, if you have more than you need, let somebody else use it. The question is, how do you translate this into a modern money system and not, just be this pie in the sky, well, everybody should obey kindergarten morality. Like, how do you actually translate this? Well, so what you do is you subject bank reserves to a liquidity tax, to a negative interest rate. So if I'm a bank and I have $1 billion and I keep it in the Federal Reserve and I don't lend it out, it decays at, say, 5% a year. So the interest rate floor called the zero lower bound. It drops now below zero. The zero lower bound drops. So basically, any risk-free investment is going to have a negative interest rate. So the bank now has, it's in its interest to lend at zero interest. The bank still makes money, because if you're a depositor, you're going to deposit at maybe negative 4%. The bank will lend out at 0%. So actually, the banking system would work almost the same way. But what would be different is that you wouldn't be able to get richer merely by owning money. But it's a very evolutionary change, and it's very close to happening. There's all kinds of other stuff. I could go on for hours. There's other stuff that come into this. The third part of the book, I told you the first part is the old stories and how money embodies those. The second part is the new stories and what money would look like that were aligned with those. And the third part of the book then is, on a personal level, how do we begin to align ourselves with the new economy and the new myths that underlie it? I think we're all experimenting in this, in how to live according to what is becoming true today. It's new territory for us. Our social institutions and our habits are all of separation. And we really don't even know how to live. A lot of us are really in this place between worlds. We're through with the old world. We're not of that anymore. We're still trapped by some of its intuitions, by some of its structures, but we're really not of it anymore. But we're not in the new world yet either. We're in a very sacred and pregnant place, the place between stories. Actually, just giving ourselves permission to abide there for a while is really helpful. And I'm not advocating inaction. I'm just advocating waiting for the right action to arise. In the old world, we know how to get things done through the laws of cause and effect as we understood them. There's a plan, there's a map. But in the new world, we don't know yet. And ultimately, the kinds of cause and effect that operate there are different than what we're used to. And we have to follow intuition and synchronicity a lot more. As you realize when you look and see just how bad the crises are, they're impossible from the premise that you are this separate consciousness inside a flesh robot in a world of force and mass that you can only influence through the amount of force that you can direct. I mean, come on, the powers that be have way more force than you do. We have to create miracles, really. A miracle being, it's not the intercession of an external divine agency in violation of the laws of physics. A miracle is simply something that's impossible from an old story and possible from within a new one. It's an expansion of what is possible. And I bet everybody in this room has experienced miracles before. They could be social miracles that violate the laws of human nature. They could be material miracles that violate the laws of material nature as we've been told. A medical miracle, for example, a miracle of healing, a miracle of forgiveness, a miracle of synchronicity, a miracle of something that science doesn't explain. So I'll just put that out there, because even though I talk a lot about kind of this economic nitty-gritty, there is a numinous dimension to what's happening. There better be. Money.
So I believe that GL is the miracle, and it is definitely the first step on the road to changing the world. And yeah, I love Charles Eisenstein, and if any of you need any more information, I mean, he's written a couple of books. He's on YouTube, so you just need to look for him and you'll find him. But I just love the way that he supports sacred economics. And, you know, if you want to research and you want to Google things, Google sacred economics. So how do we get started? Well, you enter Gift of Legacy by gifting $100, no more and no less, to the legend on your board. This is the one and only time you will take that money out of your own pockets. And gifting, like Charles said, is purely peer-to-peer, and 100% of all your gifts, or all the gifts, are sent to the legend. We recommend using payment gateways like Airtime, PayPal, WorldRemit, Revolut, bank transfer, crypto. And I'm really sure that in the near future, we will just be able to do electronic transfers from bank to bank. I know that that is in the works, and who knows, we might be able to have that this year already. So it's going to be even easier to send money to one another all over the world. And remember, with Gift of Legacy, there is no middleman or third party involved ever. So if somebody is saying, join up, I'll manage your profile for you, find somebody else to join. It's not how it works. We need to be responsible for our own rescue. And the only way to do that is to take ownership of this beautiful opportunity and run with it. That is how it works beautifully if everybody is in charge of their own profiles. So in the next couple of slides, you're going to focus on the yellow circle. But like I said before, you're going to join your board and gift your legend $100. You're going to share Gift of Legacy with like-minded and like-hearted people who will in turn do the same. And what's interesting is when you start and things are moving fast, you get caught in this time loop where you think that everything must move fast. But remember, this is new. There is no way to measure your success. When you measure your success, it's about bringing the right people in that are going to travel with you for the long haul on this journey. They're not going to freak out because of their first experience and, you know, not being able to explain it properly. When they give you their sacred yes, it has to be for life, because it takes people to move the boards. So you are much better off finding like-minded and like-hearted people. And a lot of people say to me, how much time do I have to invest? And in the beginning, I was like, oh no, it's not too much, you know, maybe an hour every day. Now I say, if you don't want to invest as much time as you can in this, it's not for you. Because if you believe in something and you're passionate about it, time is irrelevant. You're going to wake up thinking GL, you're going to go to sleep thinking GL, and it's just going to be so exciting to be involved. And those are the people that you want. If you find yourself trying to convince someone, park them, know that you've planted the seed, and move on. We're going to take a look at your journey through 4 boards. There's a $100 bronze, a $400 silver, a $1,600 gold, and of course the 5,000 platinum. You will start as a gifter, then you'll become a builder, then guide, and finally legend. You will receive gifts on your first cycle through the boards totaling $42,700. This is beautiful and it's achievable. But again, society has programmed us to have a limited way of believing. And some people think that they only need $800 and that's enough for them to go around a board over and over again, just collecting $800. Gift of Legacy is not for you if you're going to do that. Gift of Legacy is about aiming for that 5,000 board and never giving up until you get there. So perpetual cycle, once you've gone through all of the boards, you will then be receiving gifts totaling $49,700. So let's show you how the boards work. So you've got your first bronze board. This is where you gift $100 to your legend. And once you go through all of the levels, which I'll go into detail in a second, you will exit with $800. So this is what a board looks like. You've got your left hemisphere, you've got your right hemisphere. There's only one legend at a time. You've got a guide on either side, 2 builders on either side, and then 4 gifters on either side. This board will operate individually. So when one side fills up, the guide will move off and then become a legend. And when all 8 gifters come in, the legend will then obviously also be able to move on and go on their perpetual journey. So this is you come in, You're all excited. You've just gone onto your profile. You see that it says join on your bronze board. You'll click join, and then the button will change into view. And then once you've clicked view, this is what you'll see. You'll contact the legend straight away. If you click on the middle of the icon, a pop-up will come up with the info box, which will give you the legend's telephone number and email address, and you will get hold of them. We always suggest using email and WhatsApp or Telegram, or even all three, and make sure that you contact the legend as soon as you get on the board, because it is so exciting for a legend to be contacted by the gifter. I mean, when you've got a birthday, you don't go around to all your friends asking for your gifts. They're automatically going to gift you. That's the beauty of a gift. So once you've gifted your legend, you'll be confirmed, and then you will have other people that will be joining the board. And once the legend has received 4 gifts, we suggest to fast track, because then they can actually join the next board. So in this legend's case, they will be able to join a silver board with their first 4 gifts. And remember, you are a steward of this money. The beautiful thing about Gift of Legacy is it not only creates abundance for you, but it also teaches you how to be responsible with this beautiful amount of money. And in the beginning, when you are first moving through the boards, you have to remember that not all $800 is yours, because $400 will go onto your silver board, and then of course $100 will support your perpetual journey coming back to bronze, and then of course you get to keep 3 of your gifts. So of course we're talking about this board as a whole now. Your gifters on the other side will also start coming in. They're not going to come in that order. It really just depends which builder is bringing people in. So, you know, for purposes of this demonstration, it's going to be in order, but not necessarily in the perfect world. So once the legend receives all 8 gifts, this board splits in half, and the 2 guides then become legends on their own board. And there you'll see the guide now would become legend, and you would have moved up into the builder position. If you are in the builder number 1 position that we're talking about now, when you invite your 2, they will automatically land up in gifter number 1 and 2 slots. So we'll just call them gifter A and B. And then you've got the rest that come in. The legend now receives all 8 gifts, and the board splits again. The guide that was above you will become the legend, and now your invitees A and B become builders. And now the beautiful thing is that they are going to be inviting their people. So builder number A will bring in gifter C and D, and builder number B will bring in gifter E and F. And of course, once that side of the board is full, so it can happen on either hemisphere, this board will split, and then you as the guide will now become a legend. And you'll see that your 2 invitees will be on either side of you as your guides. And then of course, their gifters that have come in will now be the builders. And the beautiful thing is that when they invite their gifters, you are going to finally be on the receiving end, and you will get your $800 in gifts. So just remember, $500 goes towards the community and your growth and going up the boards, and $300 is yours to keep. And Raf, when we were on the first year birthday, he's expressed so beautifully that when you get that $300, go and spoil yourself, go and find yourself something beautiful to really honor the fact that you were able to share and move on through the boards. And then of course, there is still enough to honor yourself as well. And you get that $100 back that you first put out into Gift of Legacy. So if your original board wasn't complete, then you will actually come back in on the other side and support that board so that you can move on, so that nobody gets left behind. So remember, you're going to hold back $400 for your silver board, and you are going to hold back $100 for your perpetual bronze. So $500 is to move to the next boards. And then of course we have $300 in your pocket to go and spoil yourself. And I know in a lot of countries, especially South Africa, South America, the dollar is worth a lot. So you can really, really go and spoil yourself with something nice. Your perpetual journey, remember, you'll come back in with $100 and you'll gift the legend. So in the slide I showed you just before that, you would come back on the other side of the board. It could be your perpetual journey, or you'll go onto another board and you will gift the legend. The beautiful thing about this is that everybody that comes in behind you, when they finish, they will join you on your perpetual journey and support your movement through the boards. Of course, if you wanted it to go faster, there's nothing stopping you from inviting another 2, because then they will also support you on this board. The great thing about the perpetual is that when you get to legend, this time you only need to use $100 to move on to your next board. So you get to keep $700 over and over and over again to infinity. Your next board is your silver board. Remember, you're going to enter with $400 and you're going to now exit with $3,200. This is where it gets really, really. You are going to hold back $1,600, of course, to get to your gold board, and you are going to hold back $400 so you can go on that same beautiful ride once more. And of course, this time round, you get to keep $1,200. How does it get better than that? $1,200 when all you ever had to do was share with 2 friends that you knew would be able to get 2 friends, and then just keep sharing and keep moving. The beautiful thing is, on your perpetual journey, exactly like I explained, you're going to gift $400. Everybody that you've invited and everybody that they've invited is going to come behind you, support the movement. And when you get to legend, you are going to then receive $3,200, only needing to use $400. So each time you complete the $400 board, you're going to keep $2,800 over and over and over again. Board 3, the gold board, $1,600 will get you in as a gifter. And when you get to legend, you will receive $12,800. Again, everybody that's moving with you from the silver board, if they follow you, which we really hope that they do, because this is how it's been designed, everybody, once they've given their sacred yes, needs to just keep supporting the system. And of this, you're going to hold back $5,000, which seems like a lot. And then you're going to hold back another $1,600. So altogether, that's $6,600 that you're going to be letting go of and changing somebody else's life. But at the same time, you will get to keep $6,200. So although you're giving away quite a bit, you almost get to keep half of that, which is fantastic. And this is where life gets really incredible. So many people on this call I know have received on gold, and it is just the most incredible feeling. And then to give somebody $5,000, it is something that you can't explain until you've been through it. And, you know, coming from the old way, we think, oh my gosh, $5,000, but to give it to a stranger and know that you're still going to have that $6,200 left, it is the most beautiful feeling. There's been tears of joy, gratitude, and lifelong friends have been made through this journey. It gets better because now if you're going on your perpetual journey, again, everybody must keep supporting their bronze boards, because the bronze boards are the engine, the fire that keeps everything moving. Everyone from bronze is going to move to silver. Everyone from silver is going to move to gold. And if that comes right for you, you get now to keep $11,200 on each round, only needing to put $1,600 back into your gold perpetual journey. And then lastly, our final beautiful platinum board, where you start with $5,000 and you exit with $40,000. So you hold back $5,000 for your platinum perpetual journey, and each time you go around, you get to keep $35,000. Now, over and over and over again, as long as you maintain the team, you nurture the people that you bring in, and you just assist them in whatever way you can to help them share from the heart. So just to recap, on your perpetual journey, after you've gone up in the boards, you will constantly be earning $700. On your 400 board, you'll get to keep $2,800 each round. Your gold board, you get to keep $11,200. And on your platinum board, you get to keep $35,000. So your first cycle through the boards, is 42,700 because you're going to be using, you know, your 5,000, your 1,600 and your 400 to move up in the boards. And once you've done that and you're just on your perpetual journey, you are $300 shy of $50,000. Now, if it takes a year and you're getting $50,000 on the side, then, I mean, it takes a year. If it takes 3 months, it's also been done. It really just depends on where you are at. And, you know, there's so much energy from the dog eat dog kind of world that you feel pressure to perform. It's just something natural that comes to us as humans. Let that go. Unlearn everything that you've learned throughout your life and really just immerse yourself in the beauty of gifting and receiving, and complete trust that the more you share, the more people will look at this and the more people will join. And even though you've planted seeds that might not have started growing yet, further down the line, when things start getting shaky again, when the banks start losing people's money, which is happening in America at the moment, people are going to look for other ways to create abundance. And the beautiful thing about Gift of Legacy is the money makes babies. And so many people are so worried about, you know, running out of people. Well, firstly, because everybody's going perpetually, they're coming back into the system. So it's like this. It's not like this, like everybody thinks. It's like this because you're constantly coming back down. Just because we started at the beginning doesn't mean that we're in the front and, you know, we're sitting on the top earning loads of gifts, because we've also got to support the system and go in. And then the other analogy I like to use is, think about the department where you get driver's licenses. Have they ever had to close because they've run out of people to give licenses to? No, because we have children, they grow up, they learn to drive, they need a license. It's exactly the same thing with gifting economy. Your children will join when they're 18 and then they'll share it with their friends, and it's just everybody goes perpetual, and it's just a beautiful constant movement of infinity. So just to recap, you join by sending your unconditional gift of $100 to the legend of the board. You invite 2 like-minded and 2 like-hearted people to journey with you. You assist your invitees to do the same. And I think point 3 out of all of these points is the most important, because don't think, oh, I've done my job, that's it. No, $49,700, guys. Do you honestly think it would be so easy to just say, okay, I've got my 2, I'm going to chill now? No, my goodness, you know how hard I had to work for 11 years to get, you know, money coming into my salon. And even when I sold my salon, you know, that was hard work. This is probably the least work you'll have to do, but you've got to dig deep and you've got to really work in faith and sharing from the heart. And it's, again, something that we're not used to. So really nurture the people that you bring in and nurture the people that they bring in, and make sure that they understand the value of that themselves so that they can do that and duplicate the process too. Join the board sequentially. So you're going to go from 100 to 400, a 400 to a 16, and then to the 5,000 in the first round. And remember, in order to create this beautiful constant flow, it is really important that we join the perpetual cycle of every board. And remember, you can't advance to the next board without your 2 invitees. So we have a user-friendly website, and it's in the Academy tab. As you log in, we've got an innovative algorithm which ensures the sustainable movement of all boards. We are a worldwide community with participants in over 100 countries. We have a volunteer support team that is very small because of the sensitive nature of everybody's information. So we do what we can and provide assistance to the GL community. We have cross-pollination, which applies when you can't follow your inviter. But at the moment, we are sticking to everybody following each other. And then if there's no space on a board, or if you land up getting removed because you haven't logged in for 30 days, when you get activated, you will be cross-pollinated as well. So the beautiful thing about Gift of Legacy is we have the best of both worlds. We've got people following their families, and then we've also got people that are cross-pollinating. And again, it's up to you. If you want to join your inviters board and it says the board is full, you can either choose to wait until a space becomes available, or you can join a board and see where you land up. I mean, all of us on this call have met each other because of cross-pollination. So it is really a beautiful system. And then, of course, fast tracking, that allows us to color our world faster. So, of course, if you're on the bronze board and you've already got your 2 confirmed invitees, you are more than welcome to fast track to the $400 board, as long as you've got the $400. And that is going to come out of your own pockets, unless, of course, you get your first 4 gifts in. And try and be disciplined when you get those first 4 gifts. Just use them, because if you don't, sometimes the world brings you unforeseen expenses, and then you land up having to use them. And then you land up missing the opportunity of being ahead and being able to really just relax and receive those last few gifts for yourself. And remember, money follows joy. What is the feeling of joy? You can only experience joy when you're in a relaxed state. So relax and share from the heart. If you feel under pressure to do anything, people are going to feel that, and they're not going to want to be part of something that's making their friend feel under so much pressure. So relax and enjoy and have fun. So just some very, very simple guidelines. Please, no promoting Gift of Legacy on social media, because again, it's like I said, there's something beautiful about a sacred invitation and sharing with love from your heart. So you're more than welcome to go into your Facebook Messenger and go through your contact list and send private messages, but please no posting on your wall or tagging people or anything like that, because it really is like a magnet for people looking to scam you. And we speak from experience, we've seen it, and it's never ever done well for anybody. Remember, no filling of spaces, because what is the point? I must be very clear that people joining Gift of Legacy will drive movement, not money and not buying many positions. There's other schemes that are out there where you can do that and put as many positions as possible in. For you, it's really important to make sure that for every person you bring in is supported by 2 real human beings, people that can talk and people that can share. Be the messenger, not the message. We've got a year's worth of amazing things that we've collected, some beautiful Gift of Legacy presentations like we've done tonight. And there's also loads of education in our library. Those of you on YouTube, all you need to do is go and search for that. Very easy. And it's best to rather let the professionals explain it, because I was really excited in the beginning and I tried to share it thinking I knew what I was talking about, landed up getting completely tongue-tied and completely lost the first people that I wanted to speak to about it. And I think because you feel it in your heart, you just feel that everybody else will, but sometimes people just need a little bit more time to grab a new concept. And like I said, we've got beautiful Linktree that we can send out to our people. And then of course the Academy on our website and our YouTube channel. So remember that it's important to understand that there are no guarantees, and your success or failure will really depend on your willingness to participate and follow the guidelines. You know, when we put guidelines together, or when you buy a recipe book and you want to make your favorite cake and it tells you to put 3 eggs in and bake for 40 minutes, what do you think is going to happen if you decide, oh, I'm just going to put 1 egg in and bake it for 20 minutes? Do you think you're going to have much of a cake? So the reason we put guidelines in is to guarantee your success. And remember, it remains an individual participant's responsibility to ensure compliance with tax laws. Very easy. You just Google tax laws in my country. And most of the time you're allowed a certain amount of money coming into you to receive from gifts. So generally you're pretty much covered with that as well. Remember that Gift of Legacy is decentralized. So like I said in the beginning, if somebody's offering to manage your account for you, that is not how it works. We don't have accounts, we've got profiles, and profiles are for individual people to look after themselves. We're 100% peer-to-peer, so no funds will ever get paid to a platform, and you will only have to give your gift when you click join board, you go to view your board, and then you'll see who your legend is. You will contact them, and it is a beautiful exchange between the 2 of you after that, where the legend will decide where they would like their gift. And also, please remember that when you are giving a present, you don't deduct the wrapping paper and the sellotape from the gift that you give. So if you have any service charges, that is for the gifter and not for the legend. So join our official Gift of Legacy Telegram groups for regular updates and testimonials. We've got an interactive group now at the moment. We had a massive group. It got too big. There were loads of spammers on because of the way that I set it up. So now we've got a channel and there's an ability to chat with one another. And we've got beautiful groups internationally for all over the world. So as many countries as we can find. If you are new to Gift of Legacy and you maybe speak Arabic or some language that you can't find, get hold of us. We're always looking for people to translate so that we can get the message across to every single language in the world. And then also remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free. You just go onto YouTube. When you find the channel, there'll be a little subscribe button. You click on it and then it will ask you if you want notifications for every time something comes on. I would say yes, because then every time we post something, you'll be the first to see it. And yeah, come and join us. We are available actually every 2 weeks now. So once we get lots of people joining and there's more demand, we'll be here. But the reason we've cut down our times and our days is because there's so many beautiful little pockets of communities that have grown, and there's nothing better than coming onto a presentation with somebody that you know through somebody that you know. So yeah, we try and cater for everyone. So we have the main Zooms, and then of course there's the smaller Zooms with the leaders that you've probably joined or are about to join. All right, so I think I'm gonna skip this one because I think we've got lots of questions and answers to get through. But thank you so much for allowing me to share. And yeah, looking forward to a bright future. Yay!
Cancer was a lovely presentation. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you, McCann. Beautiful presentation. I can see everybody giving hearts and cheering. It's so beautiful to see. Oh, thank you guys. And thank you, Cans. That was really nice and special. So I'm sure lots of people have so many questions for us. Ooh.
So I think to make it easier, if we can ask people to type questions in the chat. We're not going to open up for people to speak on video just because some people like the microphone. So we're going to give everyone equal opportunity. If you can please type your questions in the chat, we'll read them and answer them. And it's just easier to get through a lot of questions like that. I know lots of questions are probably going to be about compression. Do you just want to touch on that, Can, so we can alleviate some of the questions?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so compression has been a lengthy process. Definitely, you know, one thing I can say about being in the development is that you never know what's going to happen. You never know if something can take really quickly or it can take long. And we thought that compression would be a very easy thing because what we started off with was, of course, the option to quit, because we found a lot of people, they get excited, they get sucked into that wonderful energy, that low vibration of greed or wanting to hurry up time. And then, of course, they will put in a space filler. And I've seen it happen with a legend on the board where they have one more gifter before they can move on. So the temptation is there just to put somebody in or take a position yourself. And then, of course, further down the line, you realize what a mistake that was. And before, you would have to try and find somebody to take over that position, which isn't really fun because now somebody new is having to slot into somebody's position. So energetically, that wasn't really great. So that's why we have the quit button, so that if somebody decides, you know, we've all got free will, something that sounded great and felt great might not necessarily stay that way. And we wanted to give people the option to exit and not have, you know, any issues with trying to do something that they weren't doing with their heart. When that happened, we also introduced auto remove because there were lots of people that had done the same thing and weren't even logging into those profiles. They weren't contactable. So of course, when that happened, it left a lot of holes. And of course, when teams were working together, they were able to fill those holes. But then there were a lot of people, you know, that landed up like my mom's board where she was a legend and there was literally one guard next to her. And, you know, we decided to start fresh and build it, but some people aren't that lucky. So we didn't realize that so many holes would come. And then we had to look at the next phase. Okay, what now? We've got to do compression. Okay, great. Let's make sure that, you know, whatever people need to move where they need to move, it will all just work perfectly. But we didn't take into account that, you know, there might be loads more builders than guards. So when you're trying to compress everything together, there's going to be builders that are left over and not necessarily any more boards. So then new boards are created for those people that are left over. And then that created more holes. So then we have to go back to the drawing board and go, okay, what can we do now? So it's just been trying to make sure that everybody gets as compressed as possible. And what we decided, because there were so many people in the beginning with migration that kind of just decided they were going to wait and see what happens. Now, in a gifting activity, there is no such thing as waiting and seeing what happens, because you're just going to be waiting. Nothing's going to happen if you don't action or do anything. So we decided we were going to bring teams back together, because a lot of them had got, you know, cross-pollinated, and maybe the sense of accountability wasn't there where it would be with your teams. So so that's happened in the last 2 weeks, where we've tried to get lineages and teams back together. And in the process, if a legend had 4 confirmed gifters on their board, but they maybe got there because it was the oldest board or because of cross-pollination, they would have been moved off the board to follow someone else. But that's not a train smash, because now the legend can get 8 more gifts. So they would have got 12 gifts at the end of the day. So that's where we're at now. And we managed to do that with all the invitees. Again, when we did that, it created more holes that we weren't aware of. So today we actually ran the last leg of compression, making sure that all of the legends that were lonely and by themselves were placed onto boards that didn't have legends. And we are hoping that all of the holes have been closed. But, you know, the world isn't perfect. And we've taken so long because we wanted to make everybody happy. There's probably going to be 1,000 people out of 250,000 that aren't going to be happy. And I apologize for that. We've really done the best that we can. I don't know who those 1,000 people are or positions. I just know that out of 250,000, there's going to be 1,000 that maybe are missing 2 builders on their board, or are missing 1 builder on their board. But yeah, we're going to do the best that we can to roll with the punches and see where we can assist from there. It's really been a learning experience for us. And we really, truly are doing the best that we can to make everybody happy. V, I don't know if you want to add anything in there.
Unmute V.
Candace, just to echo what Candace said, compression, yeah, it's you know what, between Candace and I, we worked hard during the December holidays, and we really try to think of every single situation outside of the box. And like Candace said, there'll be a small percentage of people, unfortunately, that their boards won't be affected, but majority of boards will be affected positively with compression. And like Can said, you know, we're trying to bring the teams back together. And with the correction that was done now in the beginning of January, the positivity that we've gotten. I mean, I've got teams that are saying, wow, you know, we had empty spots on our silver boards. And our invitees were gifters, confirmed gifters on silver boards where they knew nobody and people weren't communicating with them. And guess what? They're now currently sitting in builder positions on our silver boards. So, I mean, you know, the developer and the team has worked tirelessly over the last 6 weeks to try and make as many people in the community as happy as possible. And I just want to thank everybody who took the time out to sacrifice their time over the holidays to make it work. And yeah, compression will be something that will be continuously done as often as possible. But for now, we're busy with the correction. And to answer a lot of the questions, the boards without legends, majority of these boards will be filled with legends. So I know there's a lot of boards where there's legends on their own on board. where there is space for these legends to go onto boards with unconfirmed gifters, they will be placed there to answer that question. And secondly, also, I just want to apologize from my side, community, I get hundreds of WhatsApps a day and Telegram messages, hundreds. And I kid you not, I can clear my WhatsApp inbox and then I'll wake up to over 200 and something WhatsApps. And I know there's tons of you that I haven't gotten back to in days, some weeks, and I just want to apologize. I'm trying to get through them. It's a lot with support, as well as dealing with compression, as well as dealing with development, as well as the WhatsApp. So firstly, I just want to say sorry from my side if I haven't gotten back to you. I'm going to try and get back to everybody by the end of the month. So yes.
Vanessa, can I interrupt you there? On that note, folks, it's actually so important that all of us log tickets with support. Contacting Vanessa or Candace or myself or anybody else you might know in the community personally is not actually to your benefit, because without a ticket number, we cannot go to the developer and ask him to track an issue. So even myself, if I pick up something on a board that is strange, it's easy for me to pick up the phone and phone my friend, but I don't. I log a support ticket, because then if others come in, the developer can track and deal with it quickly. So please, I'm requesting on behalf of the core leaders, admin and support, please don't contact us personally, rather log a support ticket. That is going to make it fairer and easier for support to address the issues. We cannot have some people having access to private support without tickets when we need those tickets for our developer. Sorry, Vanessa, I had to say that.
Thanks, Adele.
No, that's yeah.
Yeah, I also just want to mention that I even log support tickets. If I've seen that there's no legend on the board, instead of sending Melissa a message, because I know how swamped she is, and it doesn't matter because every ticket that's logged, we've got a history of the conversation. So, you know, just for example, with replacing somebody, we cannot replace somebody more than 3 times. Because I mean, if they have to ask to be replaced 3 times, what are they actually doing in this program? So, you know, if they log a ticket, I can see exactly what's been going on with their history. So really, really important that you log.
So currently we are not replacing legends on empty legend spots on boards. Reason being is because we are busy running compression currently. And because of that, the legends that are all lonely on boards with nobody or with no gifters, we are placing these lonely legends on these boards, giving them hope because they're all alone. And yes, once compression is done, we are going to have a couple hundred boards without legends. Those boards, after compression is done, need to be reported to support. And I'm talking next week, not right now. So please bear with us. We are almost done. This compression and correction is going to take a little while longer. It could take 2 hours. It could take 2 days. It could take 3 days. But we have begun the process. So please be patient with us, and also be patient with us in support. There's only a few of us angels that are working in support, and we are really trying our utmost. Imagine everybody, and I just want to thank all the ladies in support. You know who you are. I know you guys want to remain anonymous, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you guys work tirelessly, anonymously, and for nothing. You guys expect nothing in return. And I just want to thank all the angels, because I really love and appreciate all of you.
They truly are amazing people. They really are. And I think just to emphasize something that you said there, Vanessa, even though we've now stated this evening, Candace and Vanessa, that compression is underway, it doesn't mean that you're going to log on tonight, this evening, and find everything resolved. Compression is a process. And Vanessa, I'm correct, it might take a day or so. And we're not finished yet. We will let you know. There will be a notification posted on the official Gift of Legacy Telegram group when compression is complete. And then by all means, you can log support tickets. But we don't need every legendless board being reported right now, because compression is in process. So please, people, when that notice comes out, then you know compression is complete. And only when you see it on the Gift of Legacy Telegram group, not on other Zoom calls, other communities, other people, a notification with the Gift of Legacy logo on the Telegram group is the only official notification that you need to watch for.
Thanks, Adele. Yes, and there's two things that I want to address here. Sylvia, great question. I'll just read it. One of the guys that I brought in has been moved from the left hemisphere where he was in guard with 2 builders that he invited, and now he's been removed from the left hemisphere and suddenly appears on the right hemisphere without his invitees. Now that is because, let's say, Sylvia, he's following you. He's going to follow you first. That's how it's designed. You follow your inviter, and if you can't follow your inviter, you're going to follow your inviter's inviter. So we had to, in order to keep, and this was also a big decision because we wanted to make sure that everybody's on the same board from a team. So what was happening just before the December holidays is that we were only doing hemisphere specific, but then that doesn't leave a lot of room if you've got invitees that want to come to your board. So we had to open up both sides of the board, and it will happen that people will get moved around, but remember they are still in the same team. And we had to do that so that everybody can be together. Otherwise, that guy would have gone to your inviter's board because he wouldn't have seen that there was space on the other side. So people will get swapped around. There will be cases where guys will be swapped with builders, but you will all be from the same family. So we do apologize for that, but it's better than going onto a board where you don't know anyone and, you know, the languages are different and no one's talking to one another.
So now legends will always remain as legends whenever we run a correction or a compression, to answer the one question. The second question is, if you are an unconfirmed gifter, when we run compression, you will still remain an unconfirmed gifter. So there's a lot of people in the community who are scurrying to join boards quickly, because in their minds, they think that they're unconfirmed on these boards and then they are going to be aligned with their teams. No, you are not going to be aligned with your teams. I have to answer this question because too many people are DMing me. You will still remain an unconfirmed gifter on the board that you are on. My advice would be to please gift the legend on the board or graciously ask to be removed off that board if you are scurrying to join boards and you're doing this incorrectly. Like Hercules said, we are aware of participants who are not abiding by the rules of Gift of Legacy. So a legend will continue to be a legend when we do correction and compression, and an unconfirmed gifter will remain an unconfirmed gifter on the very same board that you are on. You will not be aligned with your team because you're not playing correctly and you're not gifting the legend as you're supposed to. Thirdly, because we are running correction and compression and we are trying to align everybody with their teams, yes, builders and guides, like from the very first time when we ran compression, as Candace said earlier, they may get swapped around. So you may be currently a builder or a guide on a board. This board has done nothing for months because you're with strangers on a board, people who either don't speak the same language as you, or people, as Candace and Adele mentioned earlier, are space fillers who just decided, you know what, got $1,000. I'm going to take out 10 profiles, but guess what? I'm not going to actually support it by putting 2 by 2 by 2 on each of those profiles. So therefore, you're sitting on a board and you've been a guide on a board with people who've done nothing. Would you not rather be a builder on a board with people that you know from your team and people who are actively building and working in Gift of Legacy? Or would you rather not continue being a guide on a board which will not move for months? Why? Because people are waiting for you to do the work. And if you are not going to be bringing in more people, then you're going to be sitting on that board forever. So why not move? Yes, it'll take you a minute or two, but it'll be quicker to be on a board with people you recognize and people who are actually active participants and people who are actually in your team than sitting on a board from, say, March or April or June. And another thing, yes, to answer everybody's questions, because I've been getting so many, there are numerous teams in Gift of Legacy. I know firsthand that are putting in dozens of people a day. And I kid you not, dozens, because that's how excited they are. they're not waiting for compression. They're not waiting for any kind of correction. They don't even have gaps on their boards because they are so excited, and they are receiving in abundance because they are playing the game correctly. So yes, I do understand people's frustration that, oh, they're upset because they're moving from guide to builder and they've brought in their two, but they're on boards that aren't doing anything. So we are trying to align everybody systematically with their teams so that at least you can work together on the boards of abundance. So I hope that answers all the questions that I've gotten so far. And I'll tap back into now.
There's so many of those questions. We see them on the groups. And another question that we can maybe address is people are saying, oh, but I brought my two and they've left. Then you need to bring another two. Gift of Legacy has always said that you need two active invitees with you. If you don't, sidelining applies on all boards. So if you're on a platinum board and your invitees leave, you're going to be on a platinum board and your circle is going to go white. You have to invite two people who will join on your bronze board, and then your circle will fill up again, and then you will be able to move on. And the reason all of these changes and all of these features happened is twofold. One, Gift of Legacy was always developing when we launched. And two, to make sure that people who were trying to work outside of the guidelines had to fall within the guidelines. So, you know, we talked about kindergarten. I love that video, Candace, when he spoke of kindergarten economy. Sometimes it's just like dealing with children. You put a plate of sweets down and you're going to have those little monsters who go and grab as much as they can and stuff it in their mouths, and the others will take one at a time and share. And that's just it's within human nature, but we all need to follow guidelines, and that's what our leaders and our developers have put in place. So if your two people have left, you have to invite two more. And yes, it's not your fault, but you can still do it. And I concur with what Velissa said. People are adding people to the boards. I added somebody, I used my link and signed up an invitee the other day. Do I do it every day? No. But last week I signed up an invitee. Why? Because I speak to everybody I can about Gift of Legacy. And I follow the simple process. I chat to them, I talk to them, and then I send them 3 short videos. And then I send them a presentation. And I don't know how many are on this call tonight because I've invited everyone I know to this call tonight. Follow the guidelines. They're there to help you. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. We've got a perfect wheel that works fine. Cans, any other questions you've seen?
No, and I think what I'd like to say is that this is something that you just wake up and you understand, is that people move the boards. So it cannot stop at, I've brought my 2 people. It can't, because if you want to get to the platinum board, your 2 people are going to have to bring their 2 people, and those 4 people bring 8, and those 8 bring 16, and 16 brings 32, and 32 64, and before you know it, you're at the platinum board. So please don't think that the work stops after 2, unless you've got 2 amazing people, which I mean has happened. It's one of those beautiful miracles that he speaks about. But it is people that drive the movement of the boards. And once you understand that, you will be able to share even more. And it really is important that, you know, and even with the new team that I was building, you'll get the people that are really excited and they're able to bring people, and then they'll help with the people below them by giving them one person. And, you know, when that person gets their people, they'll go further down the line and share. But it's constantly moving. It's constantly keeping engaged. And not something that you have to obsess about. Like I said earlier, it all depends how much you want to put in. If you want to put in a couple of hours a week or a couple of hours every day, you'll be able to see the difference in the way that you're moving on the boards.
Yeah.
Yep. Any last questions in the chat?
I think we've covered all of them.
I think so.
I think the most was the legendless sports, the lineages getting tied together. Just, you know, the communities within Gift of Legacy that are flourishing are those that are just putting their heads down and doing what they have to do, and they are really and truly riding the boards of abundance. This is possible. I mean, the stories that I got over December, I mean, they were just short or shy of miracles. People receiving gold gifts that they became unemployable. And then all of a sudden, 2 gold gifts dropped in their lap within 24 hours because of all the hard work that they put in the whole year in Gift of Legacy. Then the gifts just dropped like that. I mean, come on. Hard work always pays off. You get nothing when you put nothing in. But when you start giving your time and your energy towards something, then you get something out in return. Life is all about giving and receiving. If you give nothing, you get nothing. So put your energy into Gift of Legacy. It does work. You've just got to put in the work and a little bit of effort, just a little bit of effort. Help your 2 find their 2. Help those 2 find their 2. Grow a beautiful team. Have your own little communities of Zooms, because like Can said, we are not going to be hosting Zooms every week, maybe every second week, once a month, hopefully with everybody in the call, because we're also trying to build our own little communities, which we haven't had the opportunity to do because we've been so busy with development. Like Babsi says, eat, breathe, and sleep GL. These guys are flying. Why? Because they are putting in the effort. So as much effort as you put into Gift of Legacy is how much effort you'll get out of it. So if you give nothing and all you do is sit back and wait with expectation, you're going to get nothing. But if you put in the work, you will receive in abundance. We've seen it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing to see. And like Can said earlier, development costs a lot of money, family, a lot of money. And our wonderful Hercules has been footing the bill. I'm just going to put it out there from his heart, because he believes in our wonderful community. So I just want to say thank you to him as well. So everybody, when you guys see an angel on the board or GGM, just know it's because of them that our beautiful program is running. The development costs are getting paid. Our hosting is getting paid. Our developers getting paid. So give from the heart with love, with joy, as Candace says, because let me tell you, when you gift somebody on the $5,000 board, I think you as the person gifting are more emotional than the person who's actually receiving it, because it's such a beautiful feeling to give so much to somebody and you have no idea how much that person is in need of it. So please play the game fairly, give from the heart, join the perpetual boards. Don't ask to always be continuously removed. If you play the game correctly, you'll be rewarded in so much abundance. It'll rock your world. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. We love you guys and we appreciate you, and especially those who are doing and playing Gift of Legacy correctly. We love you, we appreciate you, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Oh, Vanessa, you rock our world. You really, really do. Go, Ken.
I just want to add, I mean, there's a lot of you that are on boards with us, and you know, we're all in this together. So if I don't work and bring my people in, if Melissa doesn't work and bring her people in, if Hercules doesn't work and bring his people in, guess what? We're not going to move either. We all need to do the work. We all need to do the work. Even the co-creators, even the people in support, we all started off on an even foot. We all got randomly placed and we all have to do the work. No one's getting a free ride with Gift of Legacy, that's for sure. And if you did before, that is amazing. Be grateful, but put in the work now.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, Can's and Melissa, when you say we've seen it, I just need to clarify, community, what Melissa means. She doesn't mean we've seen it as in we, the core, have seen it because it's happening to us. We mean we've seen it because we are on calls with people from different communities across the world. We get to hear the feel-good stories. We see it. So when Velissa says we see it, it doesn't mean she's getting those gifts, because not all the co-creators have been through all the boards. Not all of us are on platinum. I'm not on platinum. I'm just a little person on the boards, okay? So not everybody has been through it, but when we say we've seen it, we know of people who have been in those positions. So it's not just the top leaders, it's everybody, and we can all achieve it if we work together. Cans, do you want to wrap us up?
Just share from the heart. Like I said before, I will actually make a little separate YouTube video with that little Charles Eisenstein clip, because it's about 12 minutes. And it's just really lovely because it's somebody else that's written books about sacred economy. He's been around for longer than Gift of Legacy, and sacred economy has been around since the 60s. And this is really the time. 2022 is the year where things are going to change for the positive. And it's really, really beautiful that you guys are here. You're the pioneers. You are already paving the way for the rest of the world. So I just want to say thank you and honor you for truly following your heart. And it's not always easy because, you know, we are in the face of adversity. When we change things, chaos happens, but beautiful things and miracles happen in the chaos. So thank you for riding the boards of abundance with us. And let's truly just keep on coloring everybody's world. 2023, I meant.
2023. Love you guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
So much gratitude.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you.